Jamie likes to yell. Just kidding.
No, I actually hate yelling. I just think that I have a
I'm totally
lower
fucking-
threshold than you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Mom Edit with Jamie and Lisa. This is episode number 4.
Yeah, episode
Yay.
number 4. And Jamie just brought up a fact or something she heard where
I don't even know if it's true.
she doesn't know it's true, but a lot of podcasts don't make it, filming-wise, especially after episode 3.
Yeah, so
we
we're
are
already
on a
winning.
roll.
Yeah.
We are winning. We're winning right now. So we support all of our followers and our, the DMs that we're getting. It means a lot. We created this podcast for you and for us as well. And, it means a lot that you guys are resonating with it. So every follow, every share, all that truly does.
Yeah, we've gotten such
Get us excited.
we've gotten such amazing feedback, and we're so appreciative that you guys are going out of your way to listen to our new podcast.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking all about how we co-parent and how we navigate sharing responsibilities.
That's right. Now, I know it took you a long time to get comfortable there. So I will get a kiss after the episode because I know with your belly, your body, you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So don't worry about getting
It's getting bigger and bigger.
All right, but that doesn't mean anything. Don't read into that. I'm just not doing the kiss because I know it took you 45 minutes just to get set up right now. So
You could blow me a kiss.
all right, let's go. I like
All
doing
right,
these.
so today we are talking about how we co-parent.
How we co-parent.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a whole nother world in itself.
So, oh
Yes,
my God.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
our
yes.
last episode, we talked a lot about our relationship and how we prioritize that, right?
As being parents too.
As being parents.
Pre-children, our relationship.
Oh,
Man.
so different.
Like,
So
I'm thinking about the city, Fire Island, going out, fun together. You know what was good though that we didn't talk about it. We had an overnight at Canosa Lake.
How did we forget this?
We had
Oh
an
my God,
overnight
I'm
at
so
Canosa
upset.
Lake. Are we talking about that on this episode where we're talking about different
No,
things?
but let me bring that up really quick because we
Okay.
should have brought that up in the last episode.
We did quick overnight.
We were talking at some point in episode 3 about things that we do to reconnect or something like that, right? And we forgot to say that besides our nightly being together every night, we often will actually just go on vacations alone or do a one night whenever we
I
feel
think
like.
last episode sounds like we just watched TV at night
We sounded so boring.
and clean.
Oh my God. No, but honestly, whenever we feel like we're
We
disconnecting.
do a lot now that I'm thinking
Yeah, I'm
about
like, oh, we go out to dinner and we watch Netflix.
Which actually to a lot of couples is like probably awesome.
Yeah,
Did we even say-
and most
did we
of the
even
time
say
it's
we go
awesome
out to
too.
dinner.
I think I did. Yeah.
Thank God.
I barely even said that we get a babysitter, which I feel like we have babysitters all the time. I feel like half of our income goes to babysitters.
All right, now we're in the flow. There we go.
Anyway, so whenever we feel like we're really in a rut, we'll be like, we need a vacation.
Yes.
So whether
yes.
it's like a one night overnight, like Lisa said, Canosa Lake, which is in the Catskills, that's something we like to do. We go
It's
to
amazing.
Canosa Lake for one night.
Go over there, Canosa Lake, amazing.
Oh, it's so nice. It's like a small little boutique hotel with like 15
And you know
rooms.
what? Even the ride
Adorable.
up is just so good because it's
And
just
it's only
us two
45
together.
minutes
And we're just
away.
like chilling, having a good time, So those are the things we do post kids, though. Things like that,
Yeah.
right?
But so we've even went to Mexico. We've even went to Mexico for 2 nights.
Right, 40
Remember
hours.
that?
Before kids, though, much easier. After kids, tricky.
Yes.
But yes, let's do it.
Definitely. All right, so going back to all the parenting stuff, though, right? How do we divide our household chores and our parenting duties? I think I want to start this one.
Okay, start it up.
Okay, so I feel like this stuff kind of came naturally, right? Like who does what in the house. And I think running any household is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And it certainly requires all hands on deck. So I feel like we have a pretty good system of who's responsible for what. For example, I am in charge of food shopping. And
We
if
already
I-
talked about who does the morning routines, then school, then after.
Yeah, but this
alternate
is just
pickup,
like
and then I'm just thinking like, what is really like the day? Like you're right. So you are in charge of food shopping. Yeah.
I'm in charge of food shopping.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I'm totally obsessed with knowing what everybody eats, including you, not even just the kids. I want to make sure everyone's having enough vegetables, protein.
I know, and some people get upset with their spouses for scrolling, but I know what you're scrolling. You're scrolling every recipe, how to make a brownie chocolate sundae healthy.
Especially when I'm pregnant and I have like all these cravings and I'm like,
Your
how can I
whole
make this with whole food?
Feed is food.
If you look at our
recipes.
feeds, they're so different.
Yeah.
Yours
Mine are
is like TMZ.
TMZ, like reality TV gossip, Love is Blind. I love all that stupid shit.
Mine is recipes, pregnancy videos.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Some of my stuff is like motivational stuff, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm already so motivated at this
But
point.
like, so
I'm a motivator, baby.
how did it even come about? That became my responsibility, though. I think it's just like something that I liked. I like cooking, and I think I'm a better cook than you, so that became just sort of my role.
True.
But because food shopping and that takes a lot of time out of my week to cook and to food shop, because that became my responsibility. A lot of the times doing the dishes after dinner became your responsibility, because you're like, you cooked and I'll clean. And if you, the one offshoot night that you cook, I usually will clean.
Right.
And sometimes we'll do it together just because we're both in the kitchen and the kids are playing, like we said last episode, and I'll help you do some stuff. But you usually do the dishes and I'll help clear the table.
And when we didn't have a dishwasher,
we had years
in our
where we
first
did.
house, I would just, you know what? I would do all the every dish, the pans with the but I would
You
put my
liked it
phone.
though, because you would watch a movie.
Yeah, I would put my phone right on the windowsill and be like, I got the dishes, Dame. Don't worry. You take
loved
care
that.
of Carmela.
You loved that.
But now I don't.
Wait, you know why? You know why it used to take even
But
longer?
I do clean after every meal at night.
Yeah, but you know why doing the dishes used to take even longer? Because I pumped 8 times a day.
That's right.
Because Carmela didn't latch, and when I pumped 8 times a day, you have to clean every little pump part.
We were so neurotic with our first kid. We were boiling everything after every use.
And then do you remember the pediatrician was
We
like,
told
"You're
her.
doing what? You're boiling every single item every
We
single
were
time you use
crazy
it." We
with
were
that
like, "Aren't you
first
supposed to?"
baby.
She was like, "Who told you that?" And I was like,
No.
"My sisters."
My sisters.
That's true.
They know it.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so food shopping. Yeah, if it was up to me, we would have like an apple, and the fridge would be white.
Yeah, at least it's like everybody's eating apples for every meal, and here's peanut butter toast.
Put it together, peanut butter and jelly.
What are some other responsibilities that we split? So you also somehow became responsible for taking out the garbage.
I take out the garbage.
You do the laundry usually.
Oh, I like hearing all this. Okay, let's put this.
I help with the laundry though when I'm home, but you tend to work from home more, so I think that's why that became your responsibility.
I take out the garbage. I clean after dinner. I do the laundry. I fold the laundry.
That's part of the laundry.
There's the 3 parts to the laundry. Gather it, put it in.
I do a lot of
gather
that
it,
stuff. If we're gonna
separate.
split it up, then I do a lot of that stuff too.
You're trying not to laugh because you know I do the laundry.
When you're home more, but whenever
Okay.
I'm home, I do put it in. You're better at putting it away though. That is
The
you should have
hardest
just take-
part.
When I said
The hardest
Lisa
part.
takes care of the laundry, you should have just taken and went.
The hardest part is though putting it away. That's so
Yeah, I
annoying.
hate that part. Who
And
likes it?
I do it. I do that. All right. What other responsibilities out? The straightening up. I think I overall win in the straightening up category.
And then the actual cleaning category would be me.
Right. But we also have cleaners that.
Once a month.
Okay. That is okay. You do.
That's total bullshit. Are you waking up on your Saturday morning
No.
wiping down the kitchen
when
cabinets?
you do a big cleaning.
Yeah, like that has to be done
big.
like every week. Who do you think does that?
Yeah.
I'll skip the gym even in the morning for that because there's not enough time in the day.
I know when Jamie's cleaning because it's a whole. You're
'Cause it
going
takes
to town.
so
You're going
long.
to town.
It takes so long.
I know.
That was something else that used to cause a lot of fights because you used to get mad that you used to get mad that everything had to be super clean all the time, but it does have to be clean. Straightened
I
up.
think things have to be clean.
Straightened up to me is like not good enough.
I straighten up
when
daily.
I hate when there's crumbs on the floor.
Yeah.
I hate when there's crumbs on the counter. It drives me friggin' nuts.
We do a good job with that.
No, I know, but it's hard to
yes.
keep our. Listen, it's
What
a
other
bigger.
what other
It's a
chores are
bigger
there?
house, and it's hard to like maintain it when you're not home. If I was
Right.
a full-time mom, oh my god, you'd be able to lick off the floors every second of the day. Because I don't mind cleaning. I actually like it.
Yeah.
Except bathrooms. I really don't love cleaning the bathroom.
Who cleans the bathrooms?
Well, when I'm too tired and you're like, I know you did everything else, I'll do the bathrooms for you.
I'm a good bathroom cleaner.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're so good. You should do
I
the
get up
bathroom.
in
You're
there.
so good at it.
Sometimes I'll just wear like underwear and a sports bra and like get in that bath.
We're not really helping people by
Okay, all right, let's go. What's next?
But how did we come up with these responsibilities? How did we decide who did what? I think it was just organic and natural. So I think start with like what you don't hate doing, because a lot of chores people hate doing everything. So I think if it's not natural, like if neither of you, like some people really don't mind doing the laundry. If both of you hate it, trying to figure out who hates it less or just split it.
I hate it less, so I do it.
That's true.
Yeah. That's a good
Exactly.
point, babe. I like that.
Oh,
Yep.
well, thanks.
We never like had a disagreement about like what our not roles, because the word
No, I
role
don't
is
think
like,
so.
but like what our thing is. You know
Yeah,
what
what
I'm
our
saying? So
responsibilities are. And it's a lot to take care of your household, any household, regardless of the size, right? So
you keep swiveling over there.
I
Where you
don't know.
going?
I don't know why.
You leaving the podcast room?
Yeah, I'm done with this. Tired. I'm hungry. I want to eat a sandwich, and even though I'm not supposed to.
Oh, that's so funny. All right.
So silly to say you can't eat cold cuts, whatever.
I know.
I don't even like cold cuts unless I'm pregnant. If I'm pregnant, I'm like, I want a
I
sandwich
love
so
cold
bad.
cuts. I love big sandwiches.
I know, but I used to love them, but then as I got older, I know they're so bad for you, so I don't eat them.
Off topic again. What would,
When you
if
don't
you could
eat
have the
things,
ultimate
you-
sandwich? What would your sandwich be? Ultimate sandwich. Like, don't care about calories. Don't care about fresh bread.
This is tough. It's a tough one.
I'll say mine then. What do you think?
I know yours.
Go. Let me hear.
Honey roasted turkey, American cheese,
Okay.
banana peppers.
Sweet peppers.
To me, it's the same thing.
No, banana peppers are like tangy and spicy. Sweet peppers are like the green, the red. Nope, different. Okay, what else?
Sweet peppers, lettuce, tomato,
No tomato.
lettuce, oil and vinegar, a little bit of mayo, bread scooped out.
That's it. But stacked. Yeah.
I would also enjoy that sandwich a lot.
That's your
But
like, what sandwich would I not enjoy?
Yeah, I would like pretty much love anything that I'm not
I
supposed
even had
to
like
eat
an
right
Italian
now.
sandwich. We went to Shorta's kid's birthday. I had an Italian wrap.
Oh my god! But I was thinking when
I
I
had
went,
ham. I haven't eaten ham
Really?
forever. Yeah. Salami.
wow.
I know.
No, you know, I also love like a grilled chicken and like lettuce and
Yeah, yeah,
tomato
yeah.
and like.
But sometimes with like
But if I'm eating cold cuts,
mozzarella on
it
there,
would be like
I don't taste the
oh,
mozzarella though sometimes.
delicious.
Or broccoli
But
rabe
usually, if I eat
mozzarella
one,
chicken, that's good.
That's
All
like
right,
a
let's go.
dream.
Let's get
I'm
on track.
Starving.
I know, let's get on track so you can do it.
Now I
again
want to wrap with
Spanish.
grilled chicken and broccoli rabe and fresh mozzarella.
Let's go. All right,
Pressed
let's
on a
bang
panini
this out.
grill.
Let's go. Let's go.
I know exactly where we're gonna go after this to buy it too.
I know too.
Play some mic off.
Yep. Oh yeah.
We're not helping people at all. We're just having
Let's
fun.
rock and roll though. We got to stay on track.
How do you approach?
That's another good thing that happened.
What?
The first couple episodes, you were pulling me back, and now see the balance here. I'm pulling you back.
Wow. Thank you so much for pointing that
That's
out.
a good
Lisa.
team. That's a good team.
That was good.
All right.
Good for you. How do we approach things like bedtime routines, school drop-offs, and doctor's appointments? Well, sometimes work is so busy that you're just like, and our schedules are so hectic that whoever's around is able to do it.
True.
We've already talked about school drop-offs, I think. But if
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
didn't
Oh,
listen to one
yeah.
of that, whatever episode that was, we usually just take turns. One
Yeah.
of us will go to the gym first in the morning, and whoever goes to the gym first brings them to school, and vice versa. And the
Yeah.
other person does the shared responsibilities at home, and we truly take turns. And if one of us is like, I woke up with the kids last night, I'm too tired to wake up at 4:30 to go to a 5:30 class, then we'll swap. What about bedtime routines? We split, and I highly recommend that if you have a spouse that is home and not at work during bedtime, to just split it because it makes it so much easier. But something we made a mistake on is, which I would recommend to any new parent. Do you remember how upset I was? Because I'm nervous about this with the twins. When Francesco was born and I was nursing him, I started putting him to bed every night because I was nursing him to sleep. But then as he got older and he transitioned from nursing, I was just used to putting him to bed. He was used to me putting him to bed, and I would bottle feed him. And Carmela was very used to you putting her to bed.
Right.
And so then one night when we tried to switch it up, they both got so upset. And that made me upset.
Right.
And even still now, for the most part, I'll put Francesco down and you'll put Carmela down. But that's something I'm really nervous about with the twins, is that I'm going to be like nursing both of them to sleep. And then even Francesco's going to not want me to put him to bed anymore.
No, we're gonna figure this out. And you know why? Because when I was putting Carmela to bed, we talked about this. Her and I. I'm like, listen, you're gonna probably have to tuck yourself in a little bit sometimes on
Yeah.
your own
Mhm.
when the twins come. And she was very upset. She was like, no. I said, all right,
Of
you know what?
course.
Let's figure this out together. What could we do, right? Because we're gonna have two babies. So we figured out we're going to stagger the times. We got to find a different time for the twins to go to bed.
Yeah.
When they're a little bit older, it'll be different though, because Carmelo will also be a little older. He'll be older. I think we're just going to figure things out as we go. I don't want to ever feel like we're losing time with this one or that one.
That's my biggest fear.
I know, mine too. You know, and I love when I have that bout of like me putting Francesco to bed for like a week straight. Because again, my rhythm with him.
And same with Carmela. Yeah, then she'll like get into me.
And when you do Carmela, you know.
Because kids are creatures of habit. I mean, we are too, but.
Actually, I'm due to start putting him to bed again. You know, we'll swap that up tonight.
Yeah, so we learned from that mistake, right? Because it took it was really hard for a while when we were trying to switch it up.
It was so hard for me too, because I felt like I didn't have that special connection time with Francesco.
Yes, exactly.
It took me a long time.
It was hard for both of us.
Yeah, yeah. Like I remember I shared with you, I feel like, you know, you're nursing him. Like I'm not there like I was with Carmela, you know? And then
I remember
when I did say that though, I immediately told you, I said, I'm going to do some law of attraction work. It's crazy. It sounds to some people that don't really know about law of attraction yet, which we'll definitely should talk about next episode. I said, I'm going to do a little law of attraction work and just like get my bond with him, you know, visualize. And then remember I told you, I was like, I feel like he's different towards me. I feel like he's like, that's true. I feel like we connected. But that is tricky because you were putting him to bed a lot and I wasn't having that. We'll figure it out with the twins.
And I feel like I learned a lot though from that I'm going to be so aware of it when the twins are born that I'm going to make sure. Even with Carmela, right? I'd be like nursing Francesco and she would need something and be like, you have to go to mommy.
Yeah.
I'm going to just try to figure out. And you're like, I'm like doing this as I'm like saying it like I'm nursing a baby.
I'm like, are you there, Jamie?
I'm going to just, I think, be so much more aware of it.
Yeah.
But if you are a parent to a second child for the first time, I think that's something you should be aware of is learn from my mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, and doctor's appointments, I just happen to be obsessed with that too. I need to be in charge of it.
I will be honest, things like that, like doctor's appointments, I'm not
school
really
things.
My jam. School things.
Yes.
Mom group chats.
What we have to sign up with at school. You're just not into that stuff. So I take it over because I enjoy it and you don't. I like to be in charge of the doctor stuff. I like to be in charge of signing her up for the fundraiser or enrolling her, whatever it is.
I feel good though that you handle all that. So
you trust me with
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Like,
and
did
I like
you
that
know
you're on the ball with all these things, you know, like you know, when you got to get the dance outfit for the recital, and I know none of that stuff, truthfully. So I really appreciate it.
And I don't know why I weirdly like it, but I do.
Yeah, you like it. If you didn't like it, we figure out something. But like, I'm good with the birthday parties when we get invited to birthday parties.
Bringing them?
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
Well, I also work a lot on the weekends too.
Yeah.
So sometimes
still
you have no choice.
Even if you weren't, you know, I'm cool with like.
Yeah. But we also like to go together.
We do like to go together. We do like to go. I know.
A lot of times,
I do get a little bit more worked up if like you're not coming. Like the last one, Shauna's kid's birthday, I was like, they started turning once they were.
You talked about Shauna's kid's birthday two times so far. You really had a nice time there. You got a good sandwich.
Yeah. But I feel proud when I take them places too, like you know, like.
Well, do you remember when they
took them to
we're
Times
so?
Square
I
by
keep getting so off topic. That is so impressive.
I'm very proud of
this is
myself.
why, because I was just gonna say, for the first like year and a half when Francesco was born, the first year and a half of his life, you never left the house with both of them together.
Yeah.
Whenever
I always did with her alone though. When she was a baby, I was
totally
like super
different.
confident. I took her everywhere.
But once there was two, you like were so scared to do it. And whenever I had to go to work or something, you just stayed home with them. Whenever you had work, I'd be like, we're going to this store, we're going to the playground, we're going to Wegmans, we're going to do this errand, we're going to go play here.
That's true.
And I would bring them everywhere, and you literally never brought them anywhere. Do you remember
I played
that?
with them a lot though.
Yeah, but you're like a superstar player.
But I was scared shitless to take them to like
so
Wegmans.
Funny. Well, how the hell are we going to bring 4 kids out food shopping?
I'm a little more
I
confident
will never
now.
go
I'm
into
more
Wegmans.
confident now with it.
You know what I'm going to do?
I feel more confident with it.
Instacart. Every time.
We'll figure it out.
I will never go to the supermarket with 4 kids. That sounds horrible.
Or it could be fun.
Yeah, maybe when they're a little bit older.
We got to figure all this out.
No, you know what I was thinking yesterday? Okay, so I dropped Carmel. Carmela was at gymnastics, and I brought Francesco. We had to go to all these different activities, so we were getting dinner on the road. I was with Francesco.
I gave you that idea because you were panicking. You're a dinner panicker.
I'm so worried about where people
Everything revolves around the dinner time with Jamie.
Yeah,
we
messes
all know
everything
that.
up.
Oh, 5:30, we got to have dinner. 5:30. I said, could we be a little flexible today? What do we do?
Because I don't like when the kids get hungry. I feel bad.
When who gets hungry?
I'm pregnant now. That's different, but it's always been that way. I don't like when the kids get hungry. I like to keep them on a. We are pretty.
But you
flexible.
got better flexible. Remember that was the thing. I was like, they're gonna be a little late here, a little bit.
No,
you know?
I am so flexible now.
yeah.
But anyway, so I went to go into the pizzeria to pick myself up a salad, and I took him out of the car, and I was walking across the parking lot, and I instantly was like, oh, when there's two carriers, even if Francesco and Carmela were not with me,
everything is a thing.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so annoying when you have to get the car seat out and then the carrier and
people
then put it in the
take for
stroller.
granted just going to CVS to pick something up, getting in and
so
out. People
easy.
take that for granted.
And it's like, thank God for Instacart and DoorDash because I'm gonna start because even to like go pick up the salad yesterday, I was like, oh, thank goodness it's just Francesco, and I enjoyed the moment because
enjoy that moment. Yeah,
it's gonna be so hard. Not hard, but inconvenient.
It is gonna be hard.
How do we handle responsibilities when one of us is overwhelmed or busy? I think we just tag team.
Tag team.
You have to be a team.
Yeah.
You have to. Regardless if you are a man and a woman or two moms or two dads,
but if
whatever
one of
it
us,
is.
though, the question was if one of us is very overwhelmed and busy.
I still think the answer is tag team. You know why? Because the other, it's just saying in a different way, but the other one will just overcompensate.
Right.
If I'm busy, let's say last weekend was a good example. Let's bring up Shauna's birthday party again. We had 2 birthday parties. You had work. The kids had 2 birthday parties, and I had work. Right, I had like a 3-hour open house and 2 appointments. So basically, I took them to the gym in the morning while you went to go work. Then we swapped kids. You brought them to the birthday party. Then I went to my open house and my appointments. Then we swapped kids again, and then I brought them to the next birthday party, and you worked again at home. And that was like a really good example of how we just figured it out that day and like tag teamed.
Right, that was a tag
but
team.
I had a little bit more work that day. A lot of the times I have more work on the weekends, and you will pick up the slack. You're like, well, if you have to do X, Y, and Z, I will do 1, 2, and 3. Or first trimester when I wasn't feeling good, if you're like, if you can't, bedtime routine was a perfect example. The nights that I really was like completely crashing by like 6:30, or if I really didn't feel good after dinner, you'd be like, go take a bath, go lay down.
Yeah.
I will do their baths and I will do bed.
But there's sacrifice that comes with that too, because I've been working more than I've worked in my entire life lately.
Yeah, you have been.
And it is a sacrifice of just, I'm tired as hell, but I got to step up right now. But that's why I said, like, in the past, like, I know who I have to be for the next 9 months. Typically, if you weren't pregnant and I came home and I was like, Jim, I'm so done, I need you, I would feel comfortable saying, I'm going to take a bath, I'm going to go watch a movie.
And I would be like, absolutely.
You would do it.
100%.
So.
Well, even the other day, do you remember? You were just like a little stressed out with work.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was dying at night, which usually I'm like crashing every night. Yeah. But I felt okay. And the kids were being overstimulating. And I was like, go take a minute. I'll put them to bed. Both of them.
Yeah. Oh, that
and you
was
took
so
it. And you were
helpful.
like, okay. I was like, go pick out the movie we're going to watch.
That was it. And I went downstairs and I poured a bourbon for myself.
Yeah, good.
And I don't really drink a lot anymore.
Especially since I'm pregnant. Like I can count how many times you've drank, which is like 2.
And that was awesome. 4 months. I put frozen strawberries in there. Watched that show, 4 seasons on Netflix. It's so good.
And then I ate a whole bag of Doritos.
That was an awesome night, man.
Oh, and that was a crazy day too, because we had our dance recital. I was like,
Maron, every day's a crazy day, but that's all right. They're gonna be dirty one day. We're gonna be the house is gonna be empty, but we'll be traveling the world by then. We'll be rocking and rolling. All right, what's next? We gotta stay on track.
I know.
Okay,
we're doing better though.
Yeah, this is definitely feeling good.
All right, so let's talk about the next. Let's say the next question we're gonna say is, do we have different parenting styles?
Okay.
And how do we navigate that? And I would say yes and no.
Jamie likes to yell. Just kidding.
No, I actually hate yelling. I just think that I have a lower threshold than you. I hate yelling.
You hate it. You go.
You know what's
even
funny?
Try to gentle parent so much that you even are saying something and you're so pissed, but there's a smile on your face.
Carmela gets so mad. She's like, "Don't smile while you're saying that," because I'm like literally trying to keep my shit together.
You have a big, beautiful smile, and you're like, Carmela. I'm like, Mommy told you 40. You always say how many times you told her. Mommy told you 48.5 times to please get your shoes on.
Put your shoes on.
Stop smiling at me.
Put your shoes on before we don't get to go to blah, blah, blah.
Because even when you smile and you talk to me, if you're pissed at me.
Then you start pulling that And you're like, don't smile at me the way
Don't
you smile
stop
at
you
Carmela.
say that.
But it's like, would you rather me scream and lose my shit?
Lisa, I know you're PMSing right now, but shut the fuck up.
That's me trying not to yell because I don't like yelling.
I know you don't.
You know what's funny?
offensive.
Like when Carmela was...
Oh, that's so funny.
Until Francesca
this
was
is a
born.
fun one.
So until Carmela was 3, we literally didn't yell at all.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. Once Francesca was born, your patience immediately dwindles. And I remember we used to look at other parents and be like, why are they yelling at their kid? That's so
Why are they
horrible."
yelling? Meanwhile, my mom would chase me with the belt.
Oh my God, my mom too used to scream at us too. But then once we had the second kid, I feel like just my patience went down and like yelling just became a thing.
Yeah.
And I really don't like it. And I work on not yelling literally every
Francesco's
single day.
yell.
Francesco,
He just yells. When
you know
he
what?
says-
We can't be perfect. You know what? Can't be
We're
perfect
doing-
at everything.
We try, man. We try. We've gotten better. But Francesco just yells when he talks.
And then he laughs, and we're like, "Why is he like this?" And we're like,
my
"Oh, because we
gosh,
yell now. We
did.
never
No,
yelled.
we got better.
Carmela never even heard somebody yell till she was 3.5.
That's true. We got better. You know what it is? It's like with parenting. You're like, great. Second kid. Whoa.
You know what it is? You try so hard
Then
to
the third
hold
and the
it-
fourth
yeah.
kid.
Oh,
I think third and fourth we're gonna be good.
I think
really
I'm
do,
gonna be
for
so
real.
used to being overstimulated that I'm just not even gonna be phased.
Right in silence. I'm gonna like have the twitches. Why is it quiet right
You know what
now?
I think the trick is? Is like if you,
this
I
is
think
so
you just
funny.
need to take a minute and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you gave me that last Saturday.
Yeah, that was it
That
too.
was
Is
the
not only
best.
did I see that you were like stressing overwhelmed, but I could tell you were like snapping on the kids for something that wasn't really a big deal.
I know my whole voice changed. Like she would just like.
Yeah,
put
you're
the
making fun
towel
of me
wrong
yelling,
way.
but you would
And
get
I'd
into
be like,
this like very.
I'm not a yeller. I got my voice stern. I'm like, pick up
you
the
sound
towel.
like very deep. That's how you
voice
sound.
gets-
That's
yeah.
not how you're not even gonna. I'm not even.
Pick up the towel.
I wouldn't even
can't
say
do
that.
it
So
'cause
you
I'm
can't
loud.
do it on the mic. You can't do it on the mic. You're too
I
embarrassed.
have to feel it.
I'm gonna get it on video and post it on our Instagram.
And I know sometimes when I'm doing
Follow
that.
us on Instagram.
Yes. Sometimes when I'm doing that, I think because I know my voice is totally different, and I'm like, Jamie probably thinks I'm such a fucking weirdo right now with how much my voice is completely changed from like here to like Carmela Rizzo. Sometimes I say Faith Rizzo. Pick that up now.
Yeah,
But deeper.
but does she even?
Oh, it's so funny.
I don't even know. She doesn't respond to anything anyway. She does respond.
3, 2, 1 still works.
3, 2, 1 works actually
3, 2,
pretty
1.
good. I just,
That's
you know what else I hate? I hate threatening too.
Yeah, because that's all garbage.
It's
It doesn't even
garbage.
work.
But
she
we-
doesn't even know what we're talking about. She's 5.
We follow Dr.
We used to
Becky,
be
who's
like,
fantastic. Do you remember Dr. Becky?
yeah.
She's like amazing, and I feel, and we have somebody that works with her actually that I want to bring on the show. But she's amazing, and I
Yeah.
do learn a lot from her. So like, why, for example, threatening doesn't work, and what you could do, what you could say instead. We do try to do that stuff.
Yeah.
What is this episode even about?
I have no idea.
Is it about parenting? I don't even remember because
We're saying
now we're
bad
talking about
parents.
parenting. And it sounds like we're the worst moms in the world, but we're actually really great moms. Our kids are actually pretty
Oh, that's so
amazing
funny.
for the most part. I think
Wait,
we're
Jamie,
just using
we
this as
used
a
to-
therapy
We
session.
used to be like, Carmela, listen now or next year on Christmas. Santa's not going to bring you that doll that you used to care about that you
I
don't
hope
care.
people aren't like, these girls can't have 2 more kids.
Oh my God. But I think this is real stuff.
No,
It's gotta be
honestly, I
real
really do
stuff,
think that we're good
man.
parents. I really do. We're like with our kids all the time. We're always
No, we
playing.
are good
We
parents.
give them the
but
best
it's
life.
a roller coaster.
But-
It's a freaking roller coaster.
But
for
it's a
real.
normal thing that you
Tell me
like just
somebody
lose
who's
your
not
shit
roller coaster.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But
All
anyway,
right, what's the
this
next
episode's
question?
actually about how we divide responsibility.
Divided responsibilities. Oh my gosh.
We're talking about not that at all, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
So what is
It's all right.
All right, then we got to wrap this one up.
Oh, you know why we got on this topic?
Why?
Because I was asking if we have different parenting styles. And you know what? For the most part, like not really, but sometimes with discipline we do. But it's not that we have different styles, we just have different thresholds.
Yes.
And sometimes I think things are not acceptable that you think are acceptable.
Right, I'm a little bit more lax with
And
things
I'm a little
you're
bit more strict.
So
So we do try to meet each other in the middle. And I think
I want to
that's
nail
it.
that down by the time that she's a teenager, he's a teenager,
Oh,
because
that's
we have to be
important.
on the same page with that because we know what happens when parents aren't on the same page of that.
Yeah. So
you
actually,
know.
that brings me to the next question: is
Yeah.
how do we handle disagreements about parenting techniques? Something I think we learned was that we need
Again,
to
we've gotten a lot better at this too.
not talk about it anywhere near the kids.
Yes.
If you disagree on how something's being handled,
100%.
obviously you need to do it in private. And not that we
Then
ever,
they're not going to have the respect for you.
not that we ever really purposely like discussed something like that in front of them, but sometimes it's obvious. And Carmela is so smart.
Yeah, because you could be like, all right, she needs to do this, and that, and then I would say directly to, well, why does she got to do that right there, right now?
Yeah, and then
that
Carmela's
wasn't
like,
cool.
yeah, why do I have to?
That wasn't cool. Yeah, I wasn't thinking
That was a good
it.
example, but I mean, we both done things like that to each other.
Yeah.
But that was a good example.
Yeah, because you would be like, you're just letting her da-da-da-da-da. You're letting her do this and that. And then I would be like, why are you bringing it up? So,
right.
yeah.
So I think something we learned is that like discussing, even if it's something as simple as that, not in front of the kids, because it just shows them that you're not a team.
Yep.
What role do communication and compromise play in your co-parenting dynamic? Ooh, good one.
Compromise? What do you mean? Like, you say good one, and I'm like, wait, what? Read it again.
Like, I don't even know what it means.
I can't. This is too much. It was a good question.
Move on.
We'll say, okay, move on. Let's
move on. Okay.
We pulled questions quickly. We had a quick time today, but whatever. All right, let's go. One more. Anything
Okay,
else?
we'll do a few more.
Okay.
All right. So, how do we ensure that both of us get time for ourselves, especially when we're both juggling so much?
In the morning, time for ourselves, and then if we need time for ourselves, like if I need a minute, like I said, you let me go downstairs. And somebody brought this up once. It was they were in like a relationship thing, and it was like, your wife lets you do that. And the reality is, when you are in a relationship, you do have to be let to do certain things, though. When you are a team. And at first, it took me a minute to like, understand that, like the word let, like, oh, she's got to let me go out and go out to dinner with my friend, and like a middle of a busy night or something like that. With,
right.
But yeah,
and it's not that you're not allowed to do certain things. It's just we have a routine going.
So that word sucks. So we should change that word. Just be cool with. Be cool with is like just a little more chill word. You know, like, are you cool with me going for a walk right now? Because that's a good way to change that word. I just talked that out. Yeah.
Thank you,
be
Lisa.
cool with. Yeah. So just the alone time and asking if it's cool with your partner to get that alone time. We're good with that overall.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like if you wanted to do anything in the world, I never have a problem with anything, to be honest. And I think I could say the same for you. It's just about making it work within our schedule. So sometimes it's just like the logistics of things that need to be planned out. So you have to be cool with it, but you have to just figure it out. But
and anytime you need alone time or anything, I would always give you alone
both
time.
Both of us. Yeah. And I think we both like prioritize the gym, which it gives us like our own space every day.
I think at the end of the day, if you're watching this and you want your relationship to work, have your partner watch this too. See that we're both figuring it out as we go, but we've also learned a lot that I think a lot of real couples deal with, you know, and then put in that work. Because like I said, people don't get married to get divorced. You get married to make it last. And I think too many people just let that go, you know. So, but it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's awesome too at the same time, you know.
Can you imagine not being married to me?
I don't want to go out without you. Yeah, like I don't like. Yeah, I think I need like we were talking like I need like a friend to go out with. You need friends, like we need friends. But like I also want to go out with you. I want to hang out with you. You know what I'm saying? I think
even whenever we do stuff with our friends, I'm like, can everybody bring their spouses? Because I'm bringing Lisa.
Yeah. I need like a friend to call and like just go out with, but they live so far. That's gonna be my new mission. Find me a friend.
You have a lot of friends, but I think the problem
is the girl like tries to find the guy.
But you have
you
have so many friends. I just think you feel like you're in this awkward space because like you feel like the moms are like my friends.
I am in this,
but they all feel like, but they don't feel that way about you, but you feel that way. And then like the dads.
I'm friends with the moms, but I the type of person I would want to like go out and hang out with is like somebody else who's gay, like Nikki or Heather. You know. Right. It's just a different. I don't know. And I'm not a dude, so I don't know if I'd go out with like.
And it's not that they wouldn't make you feel welcome because they would. The girls.
It's not that. It's just what I want to talk about. How
it's just you feel like you don't necessarily fit in all the time. You share that with me
I'm in
before.
This kind of weird middle thing, you know. So it's hard for me to find that vibe of like I'm not a guy and I'm not like the moms, you know. So.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah. We're going to find me a friend. I mean, a lesbian friend to hang out with.
Now
It's also
interviewing.
fun. How do we talk about this?
You
All
want
right,
me
keep
to
going.
hold interviews for you?
There is a movie, Holding Interviews for Lisa Rizzo's Friend. Please.
Okay, I have another question for you. Any tips for staying aligned on big decisions like career changes, moving, while raising a family? We have I feel like we have big decisions happening all the time. First of all, just within the last few years, we've moved several times and you launched another business.
Yep.
So I feel like we have a lot of experience with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about moving first,
Yep.
and then we'll talk about how we all agreed for you to launch another business.
Okay.
So moving first, how do we navigate making big changes? Well, first of all, we always have to make sure it's feasible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we really have in-depth conversations over a period of time.
Right.
There's been times where I made big decisions in a moment, but it's always followed up with conversations to make sure that's the right thing. We've also made actual physical lists before of pros and cons.
That's what I was going to say.
We've done that several times actually.
The biggest thing is the pros and cons. With the latest big decision, which was selling our old house.
Yeah.
That we just built.
Yes.
We made a list of pros and cons.
Yes.
And that was really helpful because we could see everything on paper.
Yeah.
And we had our answer within seconds.
Yeah.
So definitely a pros and cons for big decisions.
And then the last big decision besides moving was when you decided to launch another business.
Limitless slides.
Similarly, I think that we I don't even know if we made a list actually. I think your other business was so settled and we were you have the time and if this is what you want to pursue, but it was also a big financial commitment to put our money into supporting your new business. But I think that was just an easy one because I always support you and whatever you want. I always trust you.
I think you had to believe in it too. You had to believe in Limitless Slides.
No, I
and
definitely
what they
did.
stood for.
Yeah, and I did, and I do.
And or else because there's been things in the past that I'm like, why don't we do this? Why don't we buy this property in Florida and these investment things we're thinking about, and you're like, no. And I'm like, yeah, no. But this one, when I shared this idea with you of, Limitless, you were like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
this feels really good. This could really be, a legacy for us and make a positive impact on.
You know what?
It
also really aligned with our beliefs.
It aligned with who we are.
So that's why I think it was such a good fit too.
So I guess you have to feel it and a pros and cons list.
So you have to feel it. Yeah, I think you have to go with your gut, and it has to go with both of your guts. I think if one of you are feeling pushback, you have to just trust your partner to know that you both have to feel good when you're making a big decision. I mean, I know people that have broken up over big decisions like this because you both have to be on the same page. It's so important. So if you're not, then I would even say seek help. Seek a mediator or a counselor that could help you navigate something if you're really not on the same page, because don't just make a decision by yourself.
And remember, your end goal is to stay together. I think as long as you lead with knowing that we want to be together, I think it helps kind of guide conversations and just guide things like that.
I think also
I don't think one person should be in charge of the decisions.
Never.
But I'm saying I see a couple people that I know where realistically their husband is in charge of the decision of where they're moving, when they're moving, what's going on. And the women, they share that with me, and it's got to be a little frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you should step up to try to make that conversation at least happen.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what your husband would say
Mm-hmm.
or your partner would say, but advocate for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but be prepared with, especially when you're talking to somebody that feels like they are the decision maker, be prepared with your bullets as to why you feel how you do, because then you have actual facts and you have a little bit more of an argument.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you have to be able to talk things out.
you have to.
But also, I feel I guess it goes along with saying go with your gut, is you have to just follow the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Has to just feel like you're going down the stream. If you feel like that's why we decided to sell our house. That was a big decision maker. It was we felt like staying there, we were going upstream.
And that was with Limitless too. It was a huge financial commitment, but you were never I don't know. It was let's go.
Yeah.
There were things though there were times that we've made decisions that weren't the best decisions, and I think we've learned
This
from
is
them.
true.
This
is true. We've learned though. Yeah, we've made a lot of mistakes.
But we kind of a year later, we're both remember that decision we made a year ago? It took one person and us to say we were too impulsive. That wasn't really the best decision then. But it led us to where we are.
Yeah, that's the other
So it's
side of it. So
tricky
even though
side.
sometimes we're like, why did we do that? Bigger decisions. We also feel like we wouldn't be where we are if we
We have a
didn't
good story.
have all those impulsive decisions from when we were a little bit younger. We wouldn't be where we are right now.
So many people's lives are like this. And we're
If
like,
they know us, they're like, you guys are freaking psychos. People think we're insane.
we have a fun, fulfilled life, though, man. We really do.
We like to keep it
We take
interesting. We like to
risks,
keep
we
everybody
take
on their
risks.
toes. Like your sister, for example, I was saying to somebody like, oh, this so-and-so lives on my block. And I'm like, oh, you haven't been there yet, but like, don't feel bad. It's not weird that she hasn't been there yet. We moved like 5 times in the last year, so it's like no big deal.
Even our jobs, doing the things that we do, even starting this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
This
Just
was a
like
big-
to keep everybody on
Big
their toes.
commitment. Big commitment starting this podcast.
Yeah, it
you
was
know?
actually. It takes a lot of our time.
Time,
Mhm.
finances too,
Yeah.
but we have a vision of what it will do for people. And
Yeah, it's important
it's
to
actually
us.
also helpful for us, like talking together, in this
Yeah,
time
and I had fun
alone.
today. It was like
I had fun today. Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about what people will expect from our next episode so that they'll keep listening in and all the things they might learn from how we eat and what we eat now.
There we go. Exactly.
And all the things that they may or may not learn from us. No, so next episode, we're going to be talking.
Favorite food, real quick. What is it?
Chicken
Chicken
cutlets.
cutlet. My favorite food
You know I'm looking at you like that.
because I never eat it.
I've never seen you eat it in my life. Fettuccine Alfredo.
Clams and macaroni now. Boom. All right.
You know what else you
everybody.
really love?
Next time, we're
Arancini
gonna
with broccoli
teach-
Robin sausage.
We're gonna go over all of Jamie's scroll history and give you great recipes on what you could cook. that's
No,
healthy.
next episode we're going to be talking about actually manifesting, how we implement the law of attraction, and how you can too.
For sure. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, following, and this is only the beginning.
Yeah,
we
if
love
you
you
guys
guys.
have any questions or comments or anything that you want us to dive deep into, please send us a DM or an email at the2momedit@gmail.com. Right? Is that our email?
That's our email.
Yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
Bye.